Hey there, happiness seekers. Welcome to Elevate Daily, where we seek to give advice that can make your lives brighter and more fulfilling. Let me ask you something. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I'll be happy when I get that promotion. I'll be happy when I finish university. I'll be happy when I lose weight. I'll be happy when I have more money. I'll be happy when I find the right relationship. I'll be happy when I finally move to that new city. If you've ever found yourself saying those words, you're not alone. In fact, millions of people spend years waiting for their real life to begin. They tell themselves that happiness is just one achievement away, one milestone away, one future version of themselves away. But here's the strange part. When they finally reach that milestone, the feeling rarely lasts. Before long, there's another goal, another destination, another version of life that promises happiness just over the horizon. So today, we're going to explore the secret reason you're always waiting for life to begin. Why your brain naturally falls into this pattern, and how you can finally stop postponing your happiness for a future that never quite arrives. And before we dive in, if you enjoy thoughtful conversations about psychology, happiness, and living a more intentional life, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Elevate Daily. It really helps the channel reach more people who might need these conversations. Now, let's explore this together. Let's begin with a simple observation. As children, we naturally look forward to the future. We can't wait to become teenagers. Then we can't wait to become adults. Then we can't wait to graduate, find a career, buy a house, travel the world, build a family. The future always seems exciting because it represents possibility. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. In fact, having goals gives life direction. The problem begins when we start believing that our current life is simply the waiting room for a better one. Without realizing it, we begin treating today as something to get through instead of something to experience. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as the arrival fallacy. It's the belief that once we arrive at a particular destination, we'll finally feel complete, we'll finally relax, we'll finally be enough, we'll finally be happy. But research into well-being has consistently shown something fascinating. Human beings adapt remarkably quickly to positive changes. Whether it's a promotion, a pay rise, a new home, or even achieving a lifelong dream, the emotional boost often fades much sooner than we expect. This phenomenon is known as hedonic adaptation. In simple terms, your brain becomes used to improvement surprisingly fast. What once felt extraordinary gradually becomes your new normal. Think about something you desperately wanted 5 years ago. Maybe it was a new phone, a better job, more independence, a car, or simply finishing school. Remember how important it felt at the time. Now think about how often you appreciate it today. Probably much less than you imagine you would. That's not because you're ungrateful. It's because your brain is designed to adapt. This ability helped our ancestors survive. If humans remain satisfied for too long, we might never have continued searching for food, safety, or better opportunities. Our brains evolved to keep looking ahead, to keep improving, to keep asking, what's next? In the modern world, though, that same survival mechanism can become a happiness trap, because every achievement quickly turns into a new starting line. Now here's something even more interesting. Many of us aren't just waiting for external circumstances. We're waiting to become someone else. We think, I'll start living once I'm more confident. I'll travel once I have more money. I'll speak up once I'm less anxious. I'll start that business once I know enough. I'll make new friends once I feel more interesting. Do you notice the pattern? We are constantly postponing life until we become a future version of ourselves that seems somehow more worthy. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That future version keeps moving. Confidence doesn't suddenly arrive one Tuesday morning. Neither does perfect certainty. Most people who appear confident simply learn to act before they felt completely ready. If you spend your life waiting to feel perfectly prepared, you'll spend a lot of time waiting. Now let's talk about another reason we fall into this pattern. Modern culture constantly teaches us to chase the next milestone. Social media is full of people announcing achievements, graduations, promotions, engagements, dream holidays, fitness transformations, business successes. Our feeds become highlight reels of people reaching destinations. Very few people post about ordinary Tuesday afternoons, or quiet moments spent reading, or meaningful conversations with friends, or simply enjoying a peaceful walk. As a result, our brains begin associating happiness with extraordinary moments instead of everyday ones. But here's something worth remembering. Life is mostly made up of ordinary days. If happiness only exists during milestones, we'll spend most of our lives waiting for it. Now here's a question I'd like you to think about. What if the life you're waiting for is actually happening right now? Think about it. 5 years ago, the life you're living today may have been exactly what you hoped for. Maybe you wanted more independence, more freedom, a better income, a place of your own, more stability. Perhaps some of those dreams have quietly become your reality. But because your brain adapted, they've stopped feeling special. Instead, your attention has shifted toward the next goal, and the next, and the next. It's a cycle that can continue indefinitely unless we become aware of it. This doesn't mean you should stop setting goals. Far from it. Goals give us purpose. They encourage growth. They help us discover what we're capable of. The key is learning to pursue goals without postponing happiness until after you've achieved them. In other words, let your goals shape your direction, not your worth. Now let's explore something called the when-then mindset. It's surprisingly common. When I finish this project, then I'll relax. When I earn more money, then I'll enjoy life. When things calm down, then I'll spend more time with my family. The problem is that life rarely stays calm for long. One responsibility simply gets replaced by another. If we always wait for the perfect moment to start living, that moment may never come. Instead, happiness often grows through small moments woven into ordinary life. A morning coffee enjoyed without rushing. A conversation that makes you laugh. Watching the sunset after a long day. Cooking a meal you genuinely enjoy. Reading a chapter of a good book. Listening to your favourite song without checking your phone. These moments seem ordinary, but together they become your life. Now let's talk about presence. One reason we're always waiting for life to begin is because our attention spends so much time in the future. The brain loves planning, predicting, preparing. Those abilities are incredibly useful, but when they're overused, they steal attention from the only place life actually happens. The present moment. Mindfulness researchers have found that people tend to be happier when their attention is fully engaged with what they're doing, regardless of the activity itself. Not because every activity is exciting, but because presence reduces the mental habit of constantly living somewhere else. You don't have to meditate for hours to practice this. Sometimes it's as simple as asking yourself, what would this moment feel like if I stopped rushing through it? That one question can completely change how you experience your day. Now here's another powerful shift. Instead of asking, when will my real life begin? Try asking, how can I make today feel a little more alive? Notice how different those questions are. The first assumes life hasn't started yet. The second recognizes that it already has. Maybe the answer is calling someone you've been meaning to talk to. Maybe it's spending an hour outside. Maybe it's finally beginning the hobby you've been postponing. Maybe it's simply slowing down enough to notice the life you've already built. Because happiness often grows through attention, not circumstance. Before we finish, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Imagine meeting your future self 20 years from now. That version of you looks back at today, not as an ordinary day, but as part of the good old days, the days when you were younger, healthier, full of possibilities you haven't yet realized. What advice do you think your future self would give you? Perhaps they'd say, stop waiting. Stop believing life begins later. Enjoy this chapter before it becomes another memory you wish you had appreciated. Because one day, the life you're living right now will be the life you look back on with nostalgia. Don't miss it while you're busy waiting for something else. If this video resonated with you, and if it's reminded you to appreciate the life you're already living, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Elevate Daily. Every week, we explore the psychology behind happiness, fulfillment, and living more intentionally. And we'd love to have you as part of our growing community. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've been waiting to start that you could actually begin this week? Share your thoughts in the comments below. You never know. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Until next time, keep chasing your dreams, but don't forget to live while you're chasing them. Because life isn't waiting for you somewhere in the future. It's happening right now. And this moment deserves your attention just as much as any destination ever will. I'll see you in the next one.